Okay, so today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. I'm breathing a little heavy because I just rode up this slight hill here with no pedal assist on an 80-pound bike. And, I'm not the thinnest chickadee either. Since I'm going north, last couple of times I recorded the south track, or just coming back. Today I thought it would be fun, especially since the sun is hanging lower in the southern sky, to record the north. And please bear with me. So far, this is the longest conversation that I've had all day, so my brain to mouth circuitry may not be warmed up and working yet. But yeah, yesterday was Veterans Day, one of 2 days a year that are exclusively mine, and I don't care what anybody else has going on. It's my day. I don't have any kids, so I don't get a Father's Day. I'm one of those people who do not make a big deal out of their birthday. Just leave me alone and we'll be fine. Unless I ask you to do something or ask you to do something with or for me. We're going to cut through here real quick. Oh, there goes a squirrel. So I've been staying off these trails just because I've been through 2 tires in the last couple of months. 2 inner tubes, I should say. So I've been trying to stay away from the side trails and stuff, to stay away from the goat heads. We'll see. I do miss exploring. So, yeah. So yesterday morning I got up, I ran straight to IHOP, had a veterans breakfast, went to the gym, got a okay workout in, nothing fancy. I'd just eaten a couple of pancakes and eggs and sausages, so wasn't really feeling the workout. Whew. And keep in mind, we're doing about 11 miles per hour, and I am not in pedal assist mode at all. So the last couple of times, I've been able to make it. I mean, I probably could have turned around and made it just as far. But a guy called me, "Hey, boss." I'm like, But he looked over his shoulder this way, like he was expecting to see something. I thought for a second maybe he had an off-leash dog with him, but he apparently does not. But yeah, so got an okay workout in, nothing special. Then I went and got a much-needed haircut. Whew, much needed. So, about 10, 12 years ago, I started shaving my head in the summertime for 2 reasons. One, it negates the need to brush my hair every day. And 2, I typically ride a motorcycle. And when you don't have any hair, you can't get helmet head. And for those of you who are riders, even bicycle riders wearing helmets, you understand what helmet head is. Well, I guess any sport, but any sport that wears helmets. So yeah, I've been shaving my head in the summertime, usually with the last shave being on September 1st. And then letting the hair grow out for the winter. And it usually doesn't grow out to where I want it to be until like January or February. And then if I'm going to shave it, I start shaving it in April. So, for what it's worth. So I shaved it on September 1st. Blah, blah, blah. I usually get a haircut about once a month. So, oh, look at the puppy. Hey, puppy, what's up? So yeah, we, about once a month I normally go get a haircut. So, and usually in the first week of the month, depending on my schedule. But October rolled around, and I barely had a 1/4 inch of hair. I was like, I'm not gonna go pay for a haircut for this. I have a coupon for a free haircut. Still not even going to go waste a free coupon on a 1/4 inch. And then towards, the second, third, or towards the end of the second, third of October, so somewhere in the late teens, right around the 20th, I needed a haircut. Needed it bad. It was annoying me. But then Veterans Day is on the 11th. And so many places hand out free haircuts for veterans. So I'm like, why should I go pay for a haircut now, knowing full well that I'm getting a free one in a couple of weeks? So I bore with it. And I say it like that because I don't like having long hair. And when I say long, I mean like an inch and a half. Absolutely can't stand it. If the hair on the sides of my head is long enough to tickle my ears, it's too long. So, I know some people are like, oh, that's not a big deal. My hair's longer than that all the time, blah, blah, blah. Mine isn't. I don't think my hair's been that long since before I went in the military. Because I look back at pictures of me from high school and I'm like, I can't believe my hair was that long. And it wasn't very long. It was like 80s long. Or, early 90s long. Gen X long. So, yeah. But ever since the military, I try to keep, not try to, I just feel more comfortable in shorter hair. Especially on the sides. So I went and got a haircut, had a great time. The hair cutter, stylist, I guess, because she wasn't the barber. She was very fun, very pleasant. We had a good time, like just BSing and, making jokes and telling stories and stuff, which always makes everything better when you can make that connection. Then she started talking about she was going to have a list of girls. So next time I came by, she had somebody she could hook me up with because I was such a wonderful person, blah, blah, blah. She had a boyfriend, and she wasn't my type, but I just, let me rephrase that. Well, hey, puppy, what's up? Hi. She was, personality-wise, fantastic. I did not find her physically attractive. And unfortunately, I want both. So, but she had a boyfriend, and she said they'd been together for like 7 years, and even though he lived in Utah, so they only got to see each other a couple of times a month, maybe, on a good month. But, I had a great time. She invited me back, told me if I ever came back there for a haircut, ask for her specifically, etc., that kind of thing. Whew. And then yesterday, I have a friends with benefits situation with a woman. Now, I met her a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago now, and I will stick it into pedal assist 2 or 3 to get up this little hill, and then go back down to 0, just FYI. And we'll do that again at another spot. But I really am trying to keep my pedaling on my own, because I do want the exercise. But she came over yesterday because I was taking a break from all the eating, because I really don't eat that much on a daily basis. Usually eat after the gym, and that's kind of it until and then maybe a snack in the afternoon, and that's about it. So by the time I had breakfast and then went to a place known for their buffaloes and their wings, and had their Veterans Day 10 wings and fries, I was full. I was done. No need for me to go to other restaurants and try to get other foods and stuff, because I was stuffed. So I went home, and a girl that I occasionally hook up with she came over. She's like, oh, did you have a good Veterans Day? And I was like, yeah, it was all right. She goes, well, do you want to watch a movie or something? And I was like, sure, you know. So we watched a movie. It was, let me put it this way. It was like 1:30 in the afternoon. It was still very, very early. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to go anywhere for the rest of the day because it's Veterans Day. It's my day. I don't do anything. It's like my birthday. I don't do anything. So I was like, you know, let me hook myself up. So you can't see the air quotes, but I got inebriated. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, the acting wasn't great. The main actress, the protagonist point of view character, she was very pretty. But the acting wasn't that great, and the story was definitely something that was relative to the times. And you could tell that the writer or the director or producer or something was like, oh yeah, we're going to put so much symbolism into this, you know, kind of like as a warning for future people who think this is glamorous. So basically, I think the movie was called Cam or Cam Girl or something like that. And it was about a girl who was on a OnlyFans type site. And she was so focused on rising in the ranks of, let's go down to a lower gear. No reason to go into pedal assist for this, but lower gear, yes. So she was doing everything she could to rise in the ranks of cam girls on this website. Oops. So she, and we're gonna bump up some gears here. And it looks like they're doing some trail maintenance up ahead. We'll see that here in a minute. These condos straight ahead, right here. That's where I used to live. Not that building, but that condo complex. Oh, I feel like I swallowed a bug. But she was like super stoked about climbing the ranks, you know, trying to get to that top 50 cam girls on this website, and then the top 20, then the top 30, blah, blah, blah. Hey, puppy. And it was one of those things where, yeah. Oh, okay. Looks like they're cutting down trees, maybe. Over here on the right, maybe some dead trees. I don't know. But, you know, she just goes on about, yep, taking out some tree stumps and stuff and trimming up some dead trees. But, you know, she says early on in the film that she has 3 rules that she won't break. 1, she won't tell any of these sad, lonely guys she loves them. 2, if she does anything to herself, she wants to, you know, she'll never fake an O on camera. And 3, let's see, never tells the guys she loves them, won't fake an O. I forget what the 3rd rule is. But they come back. I mean, it's one of those foreshadowing things. They come back later. But as she's rising up in the ranks, you know, she breaks 50, then she breaks like 40. And then one day she gets a notification that she's on live, but she's not on. She's like, I'm not on. And one of the guys is actually starting to stalk her in real life. And she's like, I'm not on live. Like, what's going on? But like all movies, she doesn't tell anybody. She doesn't tell anybody the truth. She tries to solve the problems herself. She doesn't explain it to her family. You know, like, hey, I'm a cam girl. You know, I make decent money doing it. She never tells anybody, hey, my identity was stolen or my brand was stolen or anything like that. She just tries to solve everything herself. Tries to track down who this person is that's using her image and her voice, and this person's rising up the ranks, like faster than she was doing. And then she finds out that one of her cam girl friends, because I guess all the cam girls in this particular area all know each other, she finds out one of her cam girl friends had actually died like a couple years prior. So, or had died at some point. I don't know if it actually said a couple years prior. But anywho, she starts to freak out because she's like, I'm seeing this person camming themselves right now live. So if she's dead, if this is her obituary, why is she online? And this is a person that we've met in real life a couple of times, so it doesn't make sense. But the idea being that, the metaphor being that slowly over time, she's chasing such internet clout, trying to be who these paying subscribers want her to be, that she lost herself, and that the persona that she was, the actress persona, was actually taking over her life from who she truly is. And I mean, it's a good message, stop being who people want you to be and be who you are. I mean, I get it. It's a great message. But it was, towards the end, she realizes the guy that was stalking her in real life had put together this AI that copied her, and he had uploaded it, and it was copying her, took over her accounts, took over her password, everything. So that the person she had become was now its own entity, regardless of what the person she is, or the person who she is, wanted. And you can see that, play out in a gazillion different fields, a gazillion different industries. If you ever go to work and put on your work face, or your work personality, or if you ever meet that person that's always in sales mode, they always like crisp, cleaned, and polished. There's nothing raw or unfiltered about them. They're always this is the other place we're going to go into pedal assist just to help get up the hill, because I'm fat and this bike weighs a lot. So, but it should be the last spot. So, but yeah, we've all met people like that. We've all put on faces for different people. There's that Avril Lavigne song. Why has it got to be complicated? Why can't you just be who you are when we're together, rather than who you are when you're with your friends? Because we all wear different personas. So the warning is, don't let the persona you're pretending to be overtake your true values and personality. So she sees during, as she's stalking her AI self, she sees that she's breaking her rules. And she's repeating things that she said on earlier videos. So that's when she starts to get a clue that it was AI and everything. Then the guy tells her it was AI. They don't say AI because the movie's like 10 years old, but that's what it is. All right, now we gotta wait for the light. Oh, because this is one of those roads I'm not even gonna pretend to. I mean, I guess I could. There's nobody coming, but we're not going to. So yeah, it was like I said, it was an interesting message. I mean, it was a great message of, reclaiming who you are, being true to yourself. Be damned to riches and fame and glory, as long as you are who you should be, or who you are meant to be. Stop playing games. Stop being the dancing monkey. be yourself. But towards the end, she figures out a way to fool the AI, because the AI cannot recognize her. They get on a video chat together, and the AI doesn't know that she's her, or that she's wearing her face. So she starts making the AI say things and do things that would never happen, to the point where she starts slamming her own face on her desk, or the desk of the place where she's at, and bloodying up her own face. The AI is doing the same thing, but then the AI, automatically fixes itself, and all of her followers are like, oh my gosh, we've been paying attention to AI, this isn't real, etc. So, the idea being that in order to be a true woman, I'm going to say feminist, because there was a lot of role assigning and role playing and stuff. There was role playing, but there was like, do you be the woman who does what the man says? Are you the woman who has her standards? Are you the woman who fights against the patriarchy? There's a lot of those themes going on as well. And at the end, she had to break her own nose and put a scar on her face, and not wear makeup, and not wear, not be pretty, not wear, attractive outfits or anything like that, in order to reclaim who she is, which, I get the message. I really do. It's like, you don't have to dress up and be who the patriarchy wants you to be in order to, thrive. Don't get lost in playing a role when you should be being who you are. I get it. And protecting other women, because she finds out that one of her friends had died in like a car crash, and yet there was an AI out there still pretending to be her friend, etc. So, yeah, it was very interesting. And for a low budget, not great acted movie, there was a lot of themes in there, and I was like, this is fascinating. I love this, as opposed to a popcorn blockbuster where there's no real themes going on. It's just people doing whatever. So, yeah, you could tell somebody's like, oh my God, this is my, some first-time director or college graduate or whatever was like, oh, this is going to be my magnum opus about the spectrum of roles that women play in a male-dominated society, blah, blah, blah. Which I get, the story needs to be told. I think a lot of young women need to have this warning, and young men too, but young women in particular, because they're more vulnerable to bad actors. So, yeah, it was just, and I was like, I was in that right headspace. I'm watching the movie, and I'm ready to have like a fun conversation about it. Like, oh my God, did you get this? Did you get that? Did this, my friend, the female friend that I had with me, I wanted to, like, what did this movie say to you? Like, what did you pick up from it? Seeing if it spoke to women more than it spoke to me, because, not a woman. I've never been a woman. I was not raised as a woman. I do not know, the minutia details of what women go through on a daily life, other than what I witness. So I'm like super excited. I'm like dying to have this really cool conversation. And she's, and I'm laying there and I'm like, oh yeah, that was actually really interesting, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, so what do you want to do next? And I'm like, I'm just chilling right now, like thinking about a lot of stuff. She goes, do you want me to go? And I'm like, I'm not telling you to go. I'm just saying that, I'm just kind of chilling right now. She's like, well, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I was like, okay. She goes, do you want me to come back or not? And I was like, I'm just chilling. I'm kind of in a philosophical headspace where I'm evaluating a bunch of stuff and toiling it around. I'm really not going to be interested in anything else, but if you want to come back and just kind of chill, you know, I'm not going to say no. And she got mad. She's like, I can't believe you just won't tell me if you want me to be here or not. And I'm like, well, I'm giving you, I mean, I didn't tell her this, but I'm like, I'm giving you the power to determine if you want to be here or not. But I know this girl likes me on a level I don't like her on. And I know she wants me to want her. I really do. I just don't. But that was the nature of our agreement when I asked her if she wanted to be friends with benefits. It was like there would be no dating. We would not be a couple. There is no way, shape, or form we would ever be a couple. So, do not start liking me in that way. And I know she's broken the rule before. We didn't talk for like 6 months. And then she caught me in a parking lot and just asked me a benign question. Like, how do I check the air pressure in my tires? Like, you get an air pressure gauge and you put it on the tires. I mean, there is nothing you're asking me that YouTube or Google cannot answer. But it's just, I think I've mentioned this before. She's gone through the whole gamut of love languages, trying to figure out which one is going to attach to me. And I'm just like, no. Because one day she's trying to be sweet and, the loving, submissive girlfriend. One day she's trying to be, oh my God, you're so attractive, you're so good looking, like trying to appeal to my pride or my ego. And then one day she's, like even yesterday, she's like, because I just mentioned something silly. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. As I've mentioned before, I do have a storage unit. It is about 15 miles southeast of where I'm right now. Maybe 16 from here. Anywho, I was weighing whether it was worth driving out there to get something. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's like 15 miles away, or even let's say 12 miles away. That's still 24 miles. So let's just round to 25 just for giggles, for even numbers. So my truck gets about 10, 11 miles to the gallon. So that would be 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons. Right now, gas is about $2.75 a gallon. So 2.75 times 2, is this much money? So it's like $6.50, just using round numbers. About $6.50 to, or $5.50 and gas. So it's going to cost $5.50 just to go down there, just to do the round trip. And is it worth $5.50 for me to just go down there and grab something that I don't need right away? I just want to have. And she just seemed like surprised. She's like, oh my God, how'd you do that? And I was like, how'd I do what? She's like, how'd you do all that math? And I'm like, well, I used round numbers. I used easy numbers and I just rounded. I mean, there wasn't really anything difficult in it. And she goes, I couldn't even follow along with what you were saying. Like, you're so smart. Like, how do you come up with this stuff? I'm like, how do you not? Like, how do you not think about things? I don't get it. So, needless to say, like I've said before, I'm interested in a woman that I can have deeper conversations with. Oh, hey, puppies, what's up? How you doing? I need somebody smart, somebody I can have these conversations with. And she's just not it. And when she gets into that mode, and she does it a lot, I want nothing to do with her. Like, there's nothing at that point that she could say or do to make me attracted. So, like the other day, I mentioned her on the other video that I haven't uploaded yet. I met a woman who was, we're having a great conversation. I mean, unfortunately, she was a service provider to me. It was my massage therapist. And we just have, every time I go in there, we just have these amazing conversations. They're just wonderful. I would like to know more about her opinion on things, because sometimes I feel like I'm talking too much. But she tells me stuff too. I mean, it's not a one-sided conversation. I just want to know more about her. I want to know more about how she thinks. Yeah. I mean, that's just the big difference. Like, I am excited to see her again. Like, I called the massage office today because somebody called me from the other day, Tuesday. They called me Monday. Today's Wednesday. But they called me just, to say the insurance had approved more visits. I needed to call back and schedule some. So I called this morning, and my massage therapist was the one that answered the phone. And when I said who I was, she just got like super excited. Like, she was excited to hear from me. And I don't know if it's a case of, oh, this is my client, or if it's a case of, I really want to hear from this guy. But yeah. But I mean, that's the difference. Like, I have a friend who I've known, let's see, it's November of 2025. I've known her since October of 1999. And we are friends to this day, even though she gets mad at me all the time. And I tell her to get over it. She gets mad at me because I'm not who she wants me to be. And I tell her to get over it because I accept her for who she is. She needs to accept me for who I am. And that's basically, like, I don't mind messing with strangers. I don't mind talking to strangers. I don't mind goofing around with strangers. And she doesn't do that. And while she'll flirt with me, if I flirt back with her, she gets mad. So, but when we get together and we're hanging out, we have great conversations. And I'm like, this is why we're still friends, because we have these, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, I like hanging out with you. It is so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And then I always finish it off with, when you take that stick out of your butt. When you relax a little bit and you're just being goofy girl that I met 25 years ago, it is so much fun being with you. But when you come off as privileged, know-it-all, upper class, can't understand why people act the way that they do. It's kind of like, especially when I try to explain to her that, hey puppy, what's up? Not everybody has the same experiences. Hey puppy, what's up? That not everybody has the same experience as she had, so people grow up differently. She grew up in a 7, maybe 8-figure house. She married a 7-figure guy, and they're probably 8 figures now. But I keep having to tell her, like, people don't grow up like that. They don't grow up in, like, affluent neighborhoods. Some people grow up in trailer parks. Some people grow up thinking trailer parks are something to aspire to. Some people take what they can get. Some people have different priorities. Yours is comfort and security. Some people's priorities are knowledge and learning, etc. Or some people's, can't think that far ahead, and they just sit there in survival mode the whole time. And I think there are a lot of people like that who, through no fault of their own, a lot of time it's the economics or the world they're born into, or cultural or whatever. But I think there are a lot of people out there who, like, just accept that this is their lot in life because this is what their parents did. And they don't think to themselves, I can change, or I don't have to follow that path. I don't have to do what the generation before me did. I can set my own path. I can walk my own line. There's a lot of people out there, I think, like that. My brother's one of my brothers anyway is one. I think to some extent all my brothers are, but My one brother, who, surprised he's not dead yet because, he's an alcoholic, who wears an oxygen thing because he can't breathe. My brother, who's a doctor, says, yeah, if he gets the flu, if he gets COVID, if he even gets a cold that reaches his chest, he'll probably die. But he's been doing this for 20 years now. But anywho, when I try to tell him, hey, dude, you are sick. If you were too sick to walk across the room and make your own sandwich, because he's always yelling at his daughter to make him something to eat, then you are too sick to sit here and drink yourself into a stupor. And he's like, no, you don't understand. It's the culture. It's the culture. It's the culture. It's just what we do here. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to. You choose to. I'm using air quotes here, you're using culture as an excuse to indulge in what you want to indulge in. And you don't have to. He's like, yeah, but it's the culture. It's an idea or a concept that he's never even considered, that he doesn't have to do what everybody around him does. And I think there are a lot of people out there like that. People who, they're destined to be singers or dancers, entertainers, performers, whatever. But they end up as accountants or farmers or, junior manager at a supermarket because, they're following that plan where you graduate high school, you get a job, maybe go to college, maybe meet a person, get married, have babies, and then you work to survive, to make your family whole. Okay, so there's a bicycle over there for some reason. Oh, there's a person walking. Okay, well, hopefully it's the same person. There was a bicycle in the bushes, a green one. But, yeah. Too many people get on that path, and it's very hard for them to get off of it. So, the other day, I took this right. I wasn't recording yet, but we're not going to take it today because there's really nothing really super scenic. It's just going across the bridge. But we will take this way. It's a little bit longer because it goes around the outside of the curve instead of the inside, which the other trail would do. But this one's pretty, at least part of it. But yeah, there's so many people out there who do what is expected of them rather than following their own passions. And then when they do follow their own passions, they get ostracized. Maybe their family says, that movie Zoolander, remember that one? The first one? Where he came from a family of coal miners, but he decided, he had to be a male model. And his family, practically ostracized him for daring to do something that was not in the family lexicon, I guess. There's another word I was looking for and I can't think of it. But Rudy, his dad worked in a factory, his brother worked in the factory, and he's like, I want better. So he goes to college and he plays for the Notre Dame. Oops. Hey puppy, what's up? How you doing? He only plays the one game for them, but he plays for them and cements himself in history. So there's just a lot of people like that out there who, there's a lot of people that deviate from their expectations of their parents or their society or their culture. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've deviated. I can't go back to Florida without my mom saying, why don't you get married? Why don't you have children? And I'm like, why can't I find somebody who keeps my mind interested? Why would I want to be tied to somebody for 18 years knowing full well that our relationship won't last 18 years? And then there's the inevitable stress and heartache of if you do get split up, if there are kids involved, and you don't get your kids as much as you would like to. And that's not something I am prepared to deal with. I'm kind of a one and done situation. So that's why I know what I need, I just need to find it. Like I had a guy call me this morning, I was at the gym, and I belong to a gym that has numerous locations, and I have the membership that I can go to any of them. Well, I'm on the elliptical this morning at one of the gyms. He calls me up and he says, "Hey, are you at the gym?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Because I'm coming there right now. I have a woman, I told her all about you. She wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Are you going to the one over here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm not at that one. I'm at one like 15 miles away." He goes, "Well, then come on over." And I'm like, "Dude, like I'm already here. I'm already working out. I'm not just going to leave. Like, give me more notice and I will come to that one." He's like, no, you need to come." And I'm like, "No, you need to give me notice that you're going to bring somebody to introduce me to, and I will make sure that I'm there." I feel really bad because he's like, "Are you going to come or not?" And I was like, "Probably not." Because one, I wasn't just going to get up and leave because he called me at the last minute and said, "Hey, I want to introduce you to a girl." And two, I hate to say it like this, but girl needs to understand that, if she's going to be interested in me, she can't expect a simp. Somebody who's going to fawn all over her and do whatever she says. If she wants to meet me, she'll wait. Like I said, I have no problem going to meet her. Just give me a heads up. Call me the day before. Shoot me a text message. "Hey, come to this gym tomorrow. I want to introduce you to somebody." I'd be perfectly fine with that. So it says I'm 8.6 miles into the ride. I don't think... Oh, maybe it's because I went the outside of the creek path there and it was a little bit longer. So I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get all the way to the point that I've used as a turnaround point the last couple of days. I'm at 8.8 right now. I only got another mile to go. And I say it like that. It's warm. It's like 70 degrees, even in the shade like this. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Not pants, not long sleeves, nothing. Just shorts and a t-shirt, socks and shoes. So it's not like I can't go further. I was just surprised at how far I'm not, considering how far it says I've gone. So, anywho, yeah. But yeah, friend with benefits girl got all mad yesterday because I wasn't interested in taking advantage of the benefits because I was inebriated and on this whole deep dive into psychology and culture and neural networks and how systems all come together to form a giant mesh of clockwork, and how it takes a fine hand and perfect timing to skip through that clockwork and not get crushed. It was really fascinating. I should record it because I do think very visually. So one of these days I'll actually record one of the sessions. I might only be audio because a lot of times I'm just sitting in a dark room, so there's really nothing to see. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get too much further. Maybe across the creek when we cross the creek in a minute. Oops. I am sorry. I was not expecting other people. Thanks. So yeah. It's nice to see people outside, especially younger people outside doing stuff as opposed to sitting inside streaming or video gaming or whatever. You know, what do they call it? Doom scrolling. Oops. Hello, beautiful border collie. Hello. Hi. Hi, puppy. I love border collies. So yeah. But yeah, she got mad at me. She left. She never came back. She never called. She never tried to touch base with me at all. Which I'm like, fine. I mean, we're not dating. She can do whatever the hell she wants. Doesn't bother me. But yeah. I just know she's gonna sulk for a day or two, and then she's gonna try again, see what, you know, gets me to take advantage of the benefits, because I think she's at that point where she's like, if this is the only way I can have him, then this is the way that I will have him. I think she's at that point. There's probably a nicer way of saying that, but we've all been there with somebody before, where we're like, I'd rather be your friend than not have you in my life in the way that I'd like. And if we were younger, if she were younger, I would say, I would play the better man card and say, no, this isn't fair to you. But she's my age. If, you know, she's actually a couple years older than me. She's been around the block. Aside from not being a great thinker, you would think that, like, you know, she would have these defenses and stuff built in, or these protections built in, just from, like, you know, decades of trial and error. Because yes, I have in the past played the bigger man before, and it sucks. Because sometimes you want to be greedy. Sometimes you want to be selfish. Well, hey puppy, what's up? So we're at 9.7, so we'll get up to 10 and turn around. And at that point, I'll stop recording, and I'll hit pedal assist and try to get back. I don't need to get back quickly. I don't think it's going to cool off that much here in the next hour. But it, you know, I am in shorts and a t-shirt, and when the sun goes down, and I think I still got a little bit of time, but it's going to start getting chilly quick. And I'd like to be back by then. So, 9.8. So yeah. Like I said, I mean, I expect her to have some experience under her belt. She's been married a couple times. She's dated other dudes. She tells me all the time about, I guess this is the other one, like trying to make me jealous or whatever. Tells me that guys hit on her all the time, and, you know, oh, this guy at the gym hit on me. This guy at the store hit on me. This guy when I was standing in line at a restaurant hit on me. And I'm like, cool. And then she gets mad that I don't get upset. And I'm like, what? You are a free agent. You can go and be with whomever you like. It doesn't have to be me. So, and we're not together. So, yeah, have a field day. So I'm at 10.0 right now. Have been for like the last 30 or 40 yards. We're going to turn around. Actually, you can look at the Cherry Creek Trail sign here while I call it a day. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any advice, throw it down there in the comments. Let's see. If I am not mistaken, We started here, and now we're here. Well, right around here. So yeah. Anywho, thanks for coming along. Throw some comments down below. Tell me how pretty I am. I don't care. And we will try and get this in tomorrow as well. Not 100% sure, because it is supposed to get chilly this weekend. And then I heard rumor that it's supposed to snow sometime next week, so I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of rides in after this week. But I'm going to try and get them in while I can. Have a great day, and thanks for coming along.